A day more than a year in the making. What San Diegans can expect in less than 24 hours when many of the state's pandemic restrictions will be lifted. We are live inside a local family-owned restaurant, talking to one of the owners about their struggle throughout this pandemic and how the changes will give them a much-needed boost.
And a prolonged heat wave is here. I'll pinpoint the hottest days of the week and where I'm forecasting records. ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
People, I think, recognize the need to do more and to meet this moment. People will self-regulate their behavior. They'll begin to adjust and adapt as they have been quite significantly.
That was the moment in March last year, the cases climbing across the country, that Governor Newsom issued a stay-at-home order for California, one of the milestones at the time that signaled just how serious this pandemic would become. Now, more than a year later, another change on the horizon. Thanks for joining us, you guys. I'm Virginia Cha. In less than 24 hours, California is set to reopen, lifting most of the restrictions that have been in place since the shutdown began. And we're going to have more on that in a moment, on exactly what that means for the days and weeks ahead. But first, one thing we do know, the changes are bringing back a sense of normalcy for San Diegans and a chance for local businesses to rebound from a difficult year. Let's get to ABC 10 News anchor Jim Patton, who's at one such place. Family-owned restaurant in National City. Jim, that goes back generations. I know you had a chance to spend some time with one of the owners who runs the Family House of Pancakes. They have had a tough year, huh?
They have, both directions. Tough in terms of, it's tough and stressful to make adjustments, but it may be one of the most profitable years they've ever had because it's worked so well. One of the additions is this tent that allows for outdoor dining. You can see it's doing quite well today, Virginia. And this on the eve of the changes that are coming tomorrow, and they're preparing inside for a packed house at that time. So they are looking quite well with all of this, but it has been, as you say, an extraordinary year.
So here's our expo line where we get everything ready to go.
Sebastian Spezzano was a manager at the Family House of Pancakes in National City. Diner founded in 1964 by his grandparents, and it's truly a family affair, even for the customers.
This is Bobby, and Bobby, actually.
Here's some regulars right here. These guys come all the time. How's it going, guys?
Here.
Yep.
How often do you guys come?
Too often.
Too often. It's hard to resist. The food looks great, doesn't it?
It's a warm and positive vibe, and perhaps appreciated now more than ever after a year that threatened it all.
All of a sudden, March hits, and then 93% of our sales just diminish out of nowhere, you know?
On March 11th, 2020, the World Health Organization declares a pandemic. Bars and restaurants ordered to close indoor operations. The drop in sales meant reducing staff.
On a normal day, 30 employees, so all the way down to 3. We're basically running it like a taco shop, you know, just to-goes. One person on the phone and 2 in the back.
Spezzano says the worst of it lasted about 3 months, but government grants helped to pay the rent on an outdoor dining tent and provided income for employees. Still, even as recovery began, it was a bumpy ride.
Open, close, inside, outside. Okay, what are we having today, guys?
Melissa Arana has been a waitress with Family House for 15 years.
Strawberry crepes. We kept going back to the purple tier or whatever it was. We just kept getting pushed back, and it just felt like there was no, light at the end of the tunnel.
But that light would come in the form of vaccines, which began rolling out in the last month of 2020, and now appear to be proving their worth as cases are down, customer confidence up.
Feels good to get out, to eat, to enjoy a family-owned business with the people that I love. You know, it feels like we're coming back to America.
Spezzano says even when things were at their most trying,
No, not at all.
it was that kind of attitude that convinced him better times would return.
Why was it that you felt deep inside we're going to make it?
Well, I mean, we got the best clientele, you know, our customers are loyal. We got staff that have been here for years.
And they certainly are making it. Now, this outside tent is being rented as an emergency measure during the pandemic. Sebastian says they do plan to remove it, but then they have plans to build a permanent outdoor patio because they like the results in terms of business that they got from this outdoor dining. The official day is tomorrow, and that's when we're going to kick in with a lot more changes. Here's what some of that is going to look like. A quick breakdown, some of the biggest differences starting tomorrow. Capacity limits, probably the biggest item. Those are gone. Businesses will be able to have full capacity indoors, no physical distancing required. If you're vaccinated, you can ditch your mask in most instances. It's still required on public transit and in hospitals, among other things. Going forward, the state is following the CDC's lead on mask and travel guidance. Now, in this new hour, we've just learned that Disneyland is going to allow fully vaccinated guests to ditch their masks starting tomorrow. That is both for indoor and outdoor attractions. It will be up to guests to use the honor system, as the park won't ask for proof of vaccination. Guests ages 2 and up who are not fully vaccinated will be required to wear face coverings indoors, except when they are eating. Now, another industry that is looking ahead in the weeks ahead to lift some of these restrictions, tourism industry in California. Today in San Francisco, the governor announcing a plan he says will give the industry a much needed boost. And with more on that is Marie Cornell joining us live from the Embarcadero. Marie, what can you tell us?
Well, Jim, at this news conference, aside from encouraging Californians to visit other parts of the state, the governor also announced that they will be giving away 6 paid vacations to destinations like right here in San Diego.
Floor seats at a Lakers game that include, as an example, Disneyland, Legoland, SeaWorld, opportunities not just only to stay at that Ritz-Carlton down in Palm Springs, but opportunity to stay at hotels up here, Symphony down south, a series of spectacular items and packages and experiences, including culinary experiences that really highlight the best of California.
And those are some of the destinations that are included in the 6 packages that will be given away as part of the state's vaccine incentive program. Theme parks and hotels are providing the activities for free, and the state will pitch in $2,000 to cover the cost of travel. Again, this is part of the state's vaccination incentive program that today has already awarded 30 people $50,000 prizes, and tomorrow 10 people will win $1.5 million each. This comes as the hotel and tourism industry looks to rebound after losing so much since the start of the pandemic. With travel restrictions in place, the cancellations of conventions and events, officials say the tourism industry in the state has already lost about $145 billion, and it will likely take about 4 years for them to catch up. The winners of the Dream Vacations will be drawn on July 1st. Live from the Embarcadero, Marie Cornell, ABC 10 News.
Marie, thank you so much. It's exciting changes on the horizon, a lot to keep up with. We are covering the big reopening all week long. For more information and stories about how San Diego is preparing, be sure to head to 10news.com. Virginia?
Thank you, Jim. Yeah, because of the exceptions, it is a lot to take in. The other thing on people's minds this week is the heat wave, which is upon us. Let's talk to meteorologist Megan Perry about what you can expect as we try to get through this week, Megan.
Oh, I know. This week is going to be exceptionally hot all week long. This is the place you want to go. Check out PB right now. It's actually still pretty cloudy. We still have some June gloom here. A lot of people out there already. But look at these temperatures. We're in the green, indicating those cooler colors along our coastline in the 60s for the most part. Just go a few miles inland. We're in the 80s in Escondido, Poway, and in El Cajon. 86 in Ramona and in Alpine. Julian is already at 90 degrees. Borrego Springs already at 102. Temperatures are up a few degrees compared to yesterday. We're going to see an even bigger jump tomorrow. I am forecasting a record high in Borrego Springs at 113 today, awfully close in Chula Vista, Ramona, and Palomar Mountain. But I will pinpoint the hotter days ahead and the excessive heat warning for the most of the county in your full forecast. Virginia?
Thank you, Megan. Yeah, with the heat wave this week, a lot of people will head to the coast, that sliver of green you saw on Megan's map, to escape this heat. But lifeguards want people to know to be prepared after a woman needed to be rescued this weekend. ABC 10 News anchor Mary McKenzie joining us live from lifeguard headquarters to talk about the warning they have for hikers headed to Black's Beach. Hello, Mary.
Yeah, good morning, Virginia. We are still under a little bit of that cloud cover keeping us comfortable out here, but of course that means all of the people will be flocking to this section of the county, and we're talking about that Box Canyon area above Black's Beach that becomes a real problem during these busy summer months.
I think the scenery, the beauty, the picture taking, social media, a whole bunch of driving forces that make people end up going down a trail that they're inexperienced or unaware how hard it may become for them. It's an extreme trail. People don't consider it that, and we do have injuries because of it.
And they're talking specifically about a woman who had to be rescued there at Black's Beach by lifeguards and medics Sunday after she hurt her leg going down that Box Canyon trail. Badly enough, too, that she had to be hoisted by helicopter from the beach down below. This can happen multiple times a week. In fact, even more than once a day during the busy summer months in particular. People hear that the trails are easy when they're not, and they come unprepared. Now, if you're hiking further inland during this heat wave, there are additional concerns. The trails that they worry about most are Cowles, Three Sisters, and Cedar Creek. CAL FIRE gets called in for what are often highly technical rescues when hikers come unprepared for these grueling trails, and even when it isn't hot. Then when it is, they recommend you just avoid hiking there unless it's early in the morning, and that you do come prepared with at least a gallon of water per person. Small bottle of water simply not going to cut it. One problem with the falls trails, too, is that you descend first, you spend most of your hike in the direct sun, and then you aren't prepared to climb back up at the end when you may be feeling the effects of the heat. So both departments reiterating they're going to be busy this week. Having to perform these dangerous rescues just means that critical resources are diverted away from the jobs that these departments are supposed to be doing. Reporting live from Lifeguard Headquarters, Mary McKenzie, ABC 10 News.
Thank you, Mary. There are concerns about how the higher temperatures could impact wildfire risk in San Diego, especially after the dry winter we saw. But firefighters say we have at least one thing working in our region's favor this week.
Unfortunately, this one, it's not coming with the Santa Ana type winds, but they're even 10 miles an hour just blowing through the desert area, and you have these hot, dry days. You already have fuels that are very dry. They're reaching that critically dry level.
CAL FIRE says they are at peak staffing and that they have seen more acres burned so far this year than last year.